You're home alone. The streets outside are empty. Temperatures are skyrocketing with no apparent explanation. For all you know, this could be the start of the apocalypse. Each day, the news reporters say it's getting worse. Everyone remains indoors for their safety, if they're fortunate enough to have someplace to stay. The scorching heat isn't the only thing you're hiding from. Nighttime may offer relief from the sun, but not from the visitors. You've only heard snatches about them. Whispers, theories, rumors. Nobody knows exactly what they are. They've clawed their way up from the underground, their nails caked in dirt and grime. They aren't human, but they always appear to be. The visitors conceal themselves among your desperate neighbors, begging to be let into your home. Each person who comes to your door could be a human like you, wary and pleading for shelter, or they could be a monster, ready to kill you in cold blood. If, by chance, you think you've identified a visitor, the only sensible thing is to draw your gun. But what if you get it wrong? It's an easy mistake to make. There's always the chance you could let one of these things into your home by mistake, or you could mistakenly kill an innocent person. When everyone you meet could be a potential threat, when trust becomes a matter of life and death, how can you be certain who's human and who isn't? This is the premise of the game No, I'm Not a Human by indie studio Triosgas. As of the writing of the script, only the demo is out, but it's already become sort of an internet phenomenon. In a weird way, I think that makes sense. It feels like the culmination of something. I mean, over the past decade, I've been seeing a whole lot of this in indie media. The Magnus Archives, the Mandela Catalog, Who's Lila, like 90% of all analog horror projects. There's something about the idea of monsters disguised as humans that seems to really get under people's skin. It's even a trend on TikTok and Instagram, all these short-form videos where someone encounters something that looks human, but isn't. I guess it's no surprise to see this trend emerging. It's an idea that's probably haunted mankind forever. You'll find folklore about shape-shifting monsters all around the world, from changelings in Ireland to the Aswang in the Philippines. We've seen this trend before in pop culture, too. In the latter half of the 20th century, it was everywhere in horror movies. The Thing, They Live, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and its many, many remakes. When you think about it, it's a surprisingly ubiquitous concept. What we're seeing now is just its most recent incarnation. What I find so interesting about these stories is that they're not really about the monster. I mean, the monster is scary, absolutely, but I think the reason humans find them so haunting, so resonant, is how easy they are to mistake for other humans. John Carpenter's 1982 film The Thing follows a group of researchers stationed at a base in Antarctica. The atmosphere is tense, even before things start to go wrong. Working in close quarters, isolated in a frozen wasteland at the far end of the Earth, most of the men barely tolerate each other to begin with. When they discover an alien impostor lurking in their base, the little trust they had in each other unravels quickly. They don't know what it is or where it came from, only that if it kills any of them, it'll come back in their skin. One by one, the Thing expands its collection of human masks. Not even the dogs are safe. It replicates its victims perfectly, right down to their personalities and memories. Every familiar face becomes a threat, every expression suspicious. The few friendships that remain on the base are inevitably destroyed. What else could happen? If the monster really can look like anyone, that means the only person you can know to be human, to be trustworthy, is yourself. I've been throwing around the word human a lot here, but especially in stories like The Thing, it's sort of a slippery term. It can mean different things. Obviously, humans are a species, that's the surface level, the objective element here. But when these monsters disguise themselves as human, their physical shape isn't the only aspect of humanity that they assume. they also take on a second, more abstract application of it. To call someone human doesn't just mean you recognize that they're the same species as you. It also means you think of them as safe, relatable, trustworthy. Humans gravitate toward each other. They want to help one another. They want to share their secrets and open their doors to each other. When you consider someone human, you're also giving them all of this solidarity, too. On the opposite end, I've also seen people use the term inhuman, a way to separate yourself from the unsafe, unfamiliar, unrelatable members of your own species. To call a serial killer inhuman is to say that they're so diabolical, so untrustworthy, that they might as well be a different species from you. I think this is one of the key elements of horror in The Thing. If it always just looked like this, you'd know it's a monster. You'd stay away. But usually it looks like this, or even this. When the monster looks like your friends, your loved ones, like you, what do you do then? Who do you trust? As McCready puts it in the movie,
nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
I talked about No, I'm Not a Human earlier, the game where you have to keep the mysterious visitors from entering your house. Well, I didn't finish. It gets a whole lot worse. As time goes on, you gradually hear more and more about the signs you can use to identify visitors on the news. First, you hear that they have perfectly straight teeth. Then it's dirt under their fingernails. A few days later, you hear that they have bloodshot eyes and appear blurry in photographs. Whenever you let someone into your house, the game lets you test them for these signs. If they display any, you can draw your gun and solve the problem. Gradually, as you learn more of the signs to look for, the range of what you consider to be human shrinks. You see the exact same thing happen in a lot of these stories. In The Thing, McCready uses a blood test to identify the creature. The aliens in the movie They Live are easily revealed with a pair of sunglasses. In Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the pod people are zombie-like and never far from their eponymous pods. It's a part of the archetype that feels unavoidably true to me. Humans are always on the lookout for the monsters in their midst, always taking up new methods of identification. I've seen videos of people claiming they know how to spot a narcissist purely by the size of their pupils or the way that they stare. There are guides to telling the difference between what they call high-trust faces and low-trust faces. Back in the day, you had physiognomy, the science of assessing someone's character by their outer appearance. From the shape of someone's face or skull or underlying bone structure, you could deduce just about anything. It's regarded as pseudoscience now for a reason. In reality, there are no magic sunglasses, no giant pods, no convenient blood tests, but it's tempting to reach for one, isn't it? This is the deepest source of tension in No, I'm Not a Human. This is what the game is asking you to do. Perfect teeth could be a sign of a visitor, or maybe one of your guests recently got their teeth fixed. That blurry photo you took could confirm a monster, or you could have just captured an anxious, fidgety child. One guest, a woman whose husband has just died, is terrified of crying. If she does, her eyes could redden, and you know what red eyes could mean. Who are you willing to risk killing? How can any of these signs, on their own, be enough? McCready's blood test exposes the thing, but it also exposes something else. In a moment of frustration, the dog handler, Clark, swings a punch at him. This single second of violence is all McCready needs to determine that this isn't Clark at all. Gun already drawn, he fires without hesitation. McCready takes a sample of Clark's blood, dips the hot wire into it, and it doesn't react. Childs, the mechanic, looks at him with disbelief. Clark was a human, he says, which makes you a murderer. After sleeping with her boyfriend, Jay Height wakes up in an abandoned building. She comes to her senses and finds she's been tied to a chair. It turns out her boyfriend has drugged her and dragged her out here to this secluded location, but not to hurt her. Really, he's trying to warn her about something he's already done. During their tryst, he passed something on to Jay. something invisible to everyone else, something dangerous, something she now cannot escape, no matter how far she runs. It disguises itself as uncanny caricatures of her friends, her family, random strangers. If it catches her, it'll kill her. The only way she can rid herself of it is by sleeping with someone else, passing it on the same way it was passed on to her. This is the setup for the 2014 cult classic It Follows. The monster in this one is different from the others. It's barely even a monster. It's more of a force. And the effect it has on Jay is, I think, meaningful. The entity itself is not actually hard to spot. The face might look human, but its body language and expressions are unmistakable. The same could not be said about Jay's boyfriend, who initially passed this on to her. He is part of the monster, one of the untrustworthy threats with a human face. At first, it's easy to despise him for doing this to her, but as the film progresses, you begin to see the same kind of desperation take Jay over as well. She grows emotionally distant from all the people around her, despite their willingness to help. She tries to pass the entity on to unsuspecting men by seducing them, resulting in their deaths. She even allows a friend to take the entity from her in an act of non-reciprocal love. By the end of the movie, Jay has, like her old boyfriend, become part of the monster. I mentioned earlier how I've been seeing a lot of monsters in disguise on the internet lately. Well, look at this. In one video, someone hears a baby crying in the woods and runs away. Their logic was that a real child wouldn't be able to survive in the woods, so it couldn't have been a baby at all. So there's no way it was actually a baby. In another, someone flees a cave after hearing a voice calling for help. The voice is just a little too dispassionate for someone really in danger. In yet another, the person behind the camera clocks a stranger for a demon due to his, quote, uncanny laugh and soulless eyes. Are you noticing a pattern here? Do you also feel the cynicism in all of this? The kind of fear that would motivate you to abandon a crying baby in the woods or register quirky behavior as demonic possession? It seems to me that this is something regrettably easy for humans to do. Especially now when so much of your communication happens through screens, and you see others through the filter of political media where everyone who doesn't share your view is painted as a monster. It's as if you're all living on edge, waiting to find out which of your friends, family members, colleagues are secretly not human. And I get it. There are monsters. There always have been. At least now, thanks to the internet, you get to catch them more often. But it's exhausting, too. When the 5 millionth celebrity is exposed as a predator, I imagine it's hard not to wonder whether it's safe to look up to anyone at all anymore. Nobody trusts anybody now, and we're all very tired. On a societal level, you humans seem to have the same problem as Jay. When everyone else is the monster, when there's no humanity left in the world, how can you still be human? In No, I'm Not Human, the real core mechanic is vulnerability. You're meant to trust some of these people. It's hard to do because the signs you're supposed to look for often clash with the actual nature of the person you're talking to. Maybe you shouldn't trust the timid cashier who's just looking for a place to stay. Maybe you should trust the aggressive, rambling conspiracy theorist. One has the signs, the other doesn't. When all you can really trust is your intuition, it's easy to withdraw. Maybe the best thing would be not to trust anyone at all. Shoot anyone who seems even a little suspicious or has anything that even looks like one of the signs. Better yet, just keep your door closed. If you don't let anyone in, nobody can hurt you. Except that's not true, because every few nights, a mysterious man shows up and checks to see if you're alone. If you are, he kills you, and the game ends. It's how the game intentionally prevents you from taking the easy route. It forces you to trust people. You need them to survive this, and they need you. Even if there's a chance they could turn out to be a monster, even if letting them in makes you vulnerable, it's the best chance you've got. If you want to be one of the humans, the game seems to say, you have to be willing to act like one. It's true, isn't it? It's not enough to survive. It's not enough to be safe. From what I've seen, most of you want to be human as well. You want to stay human. And you don't get to do that without showing a little vulnerability. This, I think, is why the final scene of The Thing is so enduringly iconic. McCready and Childs are the only two left. The base lies in flames. They're wounded and exhausted. They are going to die. One of them could be The Thing. Both of them could. Or neither. It doesn't really matter anymore. They sit together amidst the wreckage, and instead of trying to kill each other or prove their humanity, they just share a drink. After everything, all the accusations and infighting and mounting paranoia, here they are, just waiting quietly together to see what happens. By now, they've become so isolated that humanity has lost all meaning. Except for what they can offer to each other. There are monsters out there. That's just true. When you open yourself up to other people, when you extend the benefit of the doubt, allow yourself to trust someone despite your misgivings, you are making yourself vulnerable. You could be hurt. Humans turn out not to be human all the time. But if you want to stay human, I think it's a necessary risk to take. You know what's really hard? Extending that trust to yourself. Especially for artists, I think it's easy to feel like you're some kind of creature in disguise. If you've ever heard of Clive Barker, he's kind of an interesting case study for this. So interesting, we actually made an entire little documentary about it. Based on all the stuff he's made, Hellraiser, Candyman, the Books of Blood, you'd probably expect him to be some kind of wizened, dark, brooding creature, right? But he's not. He's kind of delightful, actually. It's a duality that, all his life, he's made sure to maintain. It's an important part of him. There's room for both him and for the blood-soaked, weird, disjointed artist that inhabits him. Honestly, I think that documentary is maybe one of my favorite projects we've ever made. It's actually part of a 6-part series we made called Worldsmiths, which covers a bunch of our favorite authors in a very similar way. And we were only able to do it because we kind of have our own streaming service. Okay, not we as in Foundry, but we as in indie creators. I don't know if you know this yet, but a bunch of us have sort of banded together to create a place for projects like this. There's a lot of names you'll probably recognize over there. Tirzu has an original series where he breaks down individual animals as if they were character builds in a video game. Jacob Geller and Big Joel upload kind of an unbelievable amount of bonus content. Even the guys from MST3K are over there, which is insane to me. This is Nebula. It's where we put the best versions of all our stuff. No ads, no sponsor spots, no holding back. You can even watch our videos early there. See this? This is next week's video. People are already watching it. Right now. Normally Nebula is around $6 a month. But if you use our link, go.nebula.tv/TaleFoundry, you can get it for just $36 a year, which is only $3 a month. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you can get access to hundreds of hours of new content from creators you love, get a way better experience watching it, and support the best environment for creators like us on the internet. You even get guest passes with your membership, which you can give to your friends to let them watch stuff for free. Again, visit go.nebula.tv/TaleFoundry to get everything I just mentioned for $3 a month. Nebula is just such an awesome thing. I hope you'll give it a look. Anyway, that's all for this one. Thanks for watching and keep making stuff up. I'll see you next week. Bye.